And we're live. Well, hi everyone, and thanks for joining us. Today I'm with Tina Ridge, who is a transformation coach who helps people suffering from grief and loss to heal their heart. Thanks, Tina, for your time and for accepting this interview, which may help others who are dealing with grief and loss or thinking of a career change.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for joining. Well, we'll get right into it. Tina, if you don't mind, can you just share a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got started in helping people deal with grief and loss?
Yeah, I would love to. So I had struggled for so long with my career path, and I tried so many different jobs, so many different positions. I was in the medical field, insurance. I was a project manager and just kind of jumped around, but nothing ever felt right for me. It was just this easy feeling that I had deep down inside, and I just could not find what my true passion was. And I was in July of 2018, I was in a project manager role and just miserable, just completely miserable every day going into work, putting on that happy face,
Yeah.
but really just dying inside, basically. And it was in July of that same year that I was in a traumatic car accident, which was a near death experience for me. And what happened for me after that accident was all of these old emotional loss, significant emotional losses came bubbling up inside of me. And they were right there at the surface, things that I hadn't thought about in years, but they were limiting my capacity for happiness. And so, for the first time ever, I sought out help. And I started working with a grief recovery method specialist, which is what I am now. And I walked through the grief recovery method program, and it transformed my life. And so, as soon as I started going through that process, I immediately knew that this is my passion. This is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm on the earth to do, to help other people that are dealing with significant emotional loss move beyond that pain, complete what is incomplete inside of them. So I went on this journey of self-discovery and completing that pain that was weighing me down. And after I worked on a lot of my old stuff, I went and got trained and certified to help other people do the same.
Yes, that's awesome. That's quite very inspiring story. I mean, it's sad in one
Thank you.
way that you had that accident, but in another way, it's like a blessing. It's like it had to happen to kind of wake you up to realize you were on the
Absolutely.
wrong path and that your soul was slowly dying. And now it's like I can sense it in your energy. You're alive, and that's what we want.
Yes.
We want more people to become alive by tapping into their passion and their purpose and do their greatest work. And people can feel that. Like, I'd rather go and how do you say, get help from someone that's passionate about what they're doing. It's like going to a restaurant. You want to buy food from someone that loves cooking than someone that hates cooking. It's quite interesting how that concept works. But thanks for sharing that. Yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
inspiring. And yeah, I'm so
Thank you.
happy for you because I can see that you're glowing. Yeah, yeah, so happy, which is great. And I think it's possible for
Thank you.
everyone. Yes. So
Yes,
you
it
became
is.
a transformational coach. Was there anything else or anyone else that inspired you to become a transformational coach apart from the accident?
Yeah, so I've had so many wonderful mentors and coaches that have helped me, and I'm always inspired by people that I see that are really going for their dreams and they're being authentic. Like those people that are authentic and just show who they are and they're themselves. And so I've had, spiritual mentors. I have a coach myself because I feel like it's very important for us to continue to work on ourselves,
Yeah, spot on.
because we're always in that. We can always learn and grow
Yeah,
and change and evolve. So
yeah.
yes, lots of mentors and coaches that I admire.
Yes, yeah, I can vouch for that because I'm in the same boat. I also hire coaches myself and I keep studying, keep learning because there's plenty to learn to raise our, how do you say, consciousness. And also these people, we connect because they're authentic, because we can see ourselves in them, so to speak. And that's what, I love what you said. It's just music to my ears. And also,
Mhm.
they give us kind of hope in a way, because they're like, say, 2, 3, maybe 4 steps ahead of us. And if we want to, we can have them as role models, which is excellent. So no, I love
Yeah.
everything you're saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Cool. Okay, so you mentioned that you changed careers, like it was from project management, program management, account specialist to transformation coach. That was more or less it. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And so I worked a full-time job. Actually, I still work a full-time job, but my employer has been extremely flexible, and I have been more than transparent with them through this whole journey. And it's just such a blessing that they have stood by me in all of this, and they see that it's my passion, and they're supporting me through this journey.
Yep.
And so it is just, I can't say enough good things about their support, because they have been flexible with my schedule and different things to allow me to really grow my business.
Wow, that's fantastic. We need more employers like that are more mature, and also they're going to get it back through, you're going to be more enthusiastic at work, and plus wherever you go, you probably mention them, their name, and other people are going to say, wow, that's a nice employer. Maybe I'll try and apply there, and they're going to actually start attracting more and more talent. So it does, what you put out, you do get back. So it's interesting. And also now you don't have to worry about, I wonder if they find out what I'm doing, and then you feel maybe a bit
Right.
guilty, and then you kind of hesitate, hold back a little bit. And yeah, no, that's great, because once you're, like you said, it comes back to being authentic, being open, being free. You sleep well at night, and yeah, you feel good. So that's
Yeah.
all great. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's fantastic. So you found your passion, which is helping people deal with grief and loss. And like you just explained, you actually have started building your business while you're still working at 9 to 5, which is great to hear, because it gives hope to other people. Because a lot of people think they have to burn the boats to take the island. They have to quit their job to start their passion project. And that's a high risk in one way, because if they've got a family to feed or feed themselves and pay the bills, it's a bit hard. So the way you've approached it is
Absolutely.
great, because you've got that security while you build something. And who knows, maybe you keep doing that forever and that's the end of it. Or maybe you might, do the grief and loss full time. So I always encourage people, find out what you're passionate about and start doing a little bit every day, half an hour here, half an hour there, a few hours on the weekend, because that's going to make you feel good, which is good in itself. But then
Yeah. And
yeah.
what I found is to keeping a schedule is just key, because it is a balancing act, and I have 2 kids too, and a family, and but whenever I have things scheduled out and on the calendar, it's like I have more time than I would ever expect. So, anyone that is thinking about starting a business or anything like that, is one of the biggest things that I would recommend, is schedule it out and set goals.
Yes, yeah, spot on, 100%. Like once it's scheduled, it's like an appointment with the doctor. It's going to happen. If it's not scheduled, then you kind of just drift around and you might not achieve. Now I do that myself every morning. I set my 3 outcomes, and refresh myself why I want to achieve those, and lock them in certain times. No, it makes perfect sense. It's like going to school, I guess, having a timetable of what you're doing, so you don't miss out on anything, and you're having a balanced life. Otherwise, you end up out of balance, which is not good for your health. So that's good that you mentioned that. No, that's
Yeah.
all cool. So good, you're building your business while you're still working 9 to 5, which is great to hear, and gives other people ideas that, hey, I could do that too. And what would you
Hmm.
say was some of your challenges that you faced along the way of building the business, and how did you overcome them?
Most of my challenges have been self-induced, just having old beliefs, getting stuck in certain old beliefs, having blocks, and really learning through having the help of coaches and mentors on changing those beliefs, things that these things that we grew up with. It's just basically old patterns of behavior that it's like a record that replays in our head over and over and
Yeah,
over. You're not good enough, or there's no way you can build your business while you're working, and all these things that aren't helpful.
yeah,
And so really just digging in, and when those things come up, which I'm human, they still do,
yep,
just like with everybody,
Yeah.
just knowing that I have to take a look at it, see what's there, and work through it. And for me too, it's self care. I love to meditate and prayer. Those are my two go to. I enjoy yoga too, but meditation and prayer are my number one.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, yeah, what you touched on there is, yeah, yeah, those limiting beliefs. We've all got them, and they all hold us back. And it's important to get rid of them. Whether you hire someone or you try and figure it out yourself through doing some research, but until you get rid of those, you aren't going to move forward. So, no, I'm right with you there. Yeah, and when you talk about meditation and prayer, like I'm with you, I do the same thing. I meditate every morning and I pray every night. And one thing I've learned is that when I pray, it's like I'm asking for something. When I meditate, it's like my creator's talking to me. It's like a back and forth channel, which is fantastic. And
Yeah.
I have felt the benefits. I actually get a lot of my ideas um, through meditation. And yeah, I feel so calm and relaxed. I'm sure you feel the same. Do you meditate for long every day, just out of interest?
About 15 minutes, but it's kind of the same for me. It's kind of like I can sometimes even hear, God speaking to me and giving me clarity around things. Not always, but it's what's put on my heart that really I connect to in that meditation.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's interesting. And that's during the day you can sense something, thoughts and things, messages.
If I am, if I get in that headspace where it
Zone.
starts to get negative, I'll step away and focus on that. And yeah, it's just that being still, being silent, listening, just trying to get my mind clear.
Yeah. In fact, that reminds me of a quote I read where when we're thinking about the past, sometimes that's what lead to depression. When we think too much about negative things in the future, that's anxiety. Whereas when you're in the presence, that's when you're at peace. So yeah, it's all.
I love how you said that because it reminds me so much of my journey. Before my car wreck, like I was in that prison, and over here was all the things that had happened in my past that I hadn't dealt with. And over here is like I'm constantly worried about the future. And I couldn't break through and be in the present moment. And now I can do that, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. It's like, I guess, when something happens or someone says something, it's like that little bit of space in between the event and our response. If we react, then there's no gap. It's just animal instinct, and it's usually not good. But when we
Mhm.
take the time to just stop, give ourselves that, we've got to actually be nice to ourselves, be kind to ourselves, and give ourselves the space to process things. I think the outcome ends up a lot better. Because how many times I know myself where I've snapped at someone and then I thought, what an idiot. Why did I say that? And when I think back, I think I should have, you know, taking the time to think about it. But you learn as you go through your journey. So that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no worries. And may I ask, how did you get your first client?
Actually got my first client through a therapist. A local therapist had referred the client to me.
Through referral. Excellent.
Hmm.
Obviously, they
Yeah,
noticed you're doing great work and they referred you, because no one's going to refer someone because then it reflects back on them. So that's a kind of a testimonial in itself by someone referring a client to you. So that's excellent. Well done.
thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And what advice would you give to someone that may be thinking about a career change or starting a business? I know you touched a little bit before.
Yeah, like I said, I would definitely focus on maybe what work you need to do. Because for me, I mean, there's no way before all the work that I did on all that old loss, there's no way I could be where I am right now if I hadn't worked on what was inside here.
Yeah.
And so if there is anything that you feel like is holding you back, and maybe you're not even sure what that is, take a deeper look, ask for help, find someone that can help you identify what that is, because that usually means that uncomfortable feeling that there's something there that you need to take a look at. So that is what has helped me tremendously.
Yep. So in other words, clean up your house, and if you know that something, like sometimes I notice even myself and some people, they don't want to do something because they're worried about what everyone else thinks. Then there's a problem there, because at the end of the day, if you go into business, you're going to get some failures and you're going to get some rejections, but that's all part of the process. You cannot succeed unless you fail or get rejected. It's just like a child learning to walk. They're not going to start walking on the first go. So it comes back to kind of being kind and nice to yourself, and learning how to improve. And like you said, get rid of these negative limiting beliefs that hold us back, because our beliefs do control our behavior. And if we don't sort
Mm-hmm.
out the beliefs, and I agree 100%, to me, the key is really comes back down to beliefs. You've got to know what you believe, especially the negative ones, and flip them and change them through different techniques. And there are techniques to do that. And yeah, and that will help you move forward. Another thing that you remind me of is also the ego. I don't know your thoughts on the ego, but also the ego, I feel, is something that holds people back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so dissolving the ego and I guess humbling yourself
Yeah,
will
it's
help
not
you.
about me. Yeah, it's not about me at all, you know? So
Yeah,
yeah, that connects. And another thing that when you were talking and I was thinking about was, you know, I'm a very empathetic person. I mean, I would have to be to do this kind of work. But before I, you know, kind of worked on all my stuff, people's people's pain would cling to me and I'd take it on.
yes,
And part of that was because I was still holding on to a lot of my stuff.
yep,
And whenever I was able to get rid of that, then I can work with somebody and I can even have that moment where they're sharing their deepest, darkest stuff with me. And I'll tear up and I'll be right there in the moment with them, but I don't take on their pain. It doesn't cling to me anymore.
yeah. Oh,
So
well done.
anyone, yeah, anyone that's in, you know, any kind where you're connecting with someone on that deep level, work work on yourself. It's that compassion fatigue that we hear so much about that can happen. And I really truly believe that if you've got that in you, it's like just a magnet.
Yeah, yeah, you're spot on there. You touched on a good point about not taking someone else's baggage, so to speak. Because if you do that, you're actually doing them a disservice, because you're taking the bag and they think that you're going to fix it for them. They don't have to do anything. They've got their no skin in the game. So it's
Yeah,
important to say, I'm here to help you and support you, but you need to resolve it. I'm just giving you, I guess, encouragement and techniques, strategies that work, etc. And it's for them to actually take responsibility, which means they have the ability to respond to whatever it is that happened to them. You know, if they lost someone or whatever, and
mm-hmm.
maybe, you know, looking at it from a different perspective. But it is important for them because to resolve, because otherwise they wouldn't have had that problem in the first place. It's almost like the pain is the blessing in a way. It's what the person needed to get to the next level of their life. It's like your accident was like, sounds to me like it was a gift, a blessing, a wake up call.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You wouldn't have
absolutely. And a
broken the
lot of other
pattern.
things, a
Yeah,
lot of other things that I'd been through, you know, I can look at those now and say, that was a blessing. Now I
yeah,
know the reason.
yeah. Is it fair to say that sometimes in life we get these signs, but if we don't acknowledge them and process them and make some changes, the sign or the signal gets stronger and stronger and stronger when the universe or God says, that's it, I'm going to do something severe here because Martin or Tina, they're just not waking up. And something happens. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes you feel like you keep getting that same nagging thing until you deal with it. So it's important to become aware of I guess the fear or the pain, and to actually face it and deal with it. And there are people that can help. So that's fantastic, Tina. Okay. So how can people learn more about you, Tina, learn more about your work or get in contact with you? And I'll put some links in the post to help them.
Yeah, Yeah, awesome. So LinkedIn, I try to post a couple times a week, just some different content that may be helpful for those people that are dealing with significant loss. And also my website is tinaridge.net. Or anyone that is wanting to have a free session with me can email me at, my email is tina@tinaridge.net.
Yep. No worries. I'll put those three things in the post so people can click on that. No, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
and also on Facebook too. It's Tina Ridge, Path to Freedom Coaching.
Path to freedom. Yep, coaching. Okay. No worries. I'll
Yeah,
get them all off
yeah.
you and I'll put them in the post. So that's fantastic. Do you have any final words, Tina?
I just want to thank you for this opportunity. I love to talk about my passion. As you can tell,
Yeah,
I
that's
am
great.
very, very passionate about what I do. I love to see my clients have those aha moments, and it's amazing. And so, thank you so much for the opportunity today.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Tina. I really appreciate you sharing your story, and what you're doing is fantastic because there are a lot of people out there, suffering, and the time has come where, enough's enough suffering, and you're a person that they can, get help from to, overcome the suffering, and then they can move on with their life. So thanks for sharing that. It's very inspiring. And if anyone's listening and is suffering from a broken heart caused by either death, divorce, or the end of a romantic relationship, then please reach out to Tina. I'll put her details, like I said, in the comments. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks everyone for listening and have a great day.